a very, very special guest, a very amazing guest, to be honest, a father, an entrepreneur, a martial artist for what, 30 years, owner of one of the best combat sports academies in all of Finland, Ahjo Training Center, motivational speaker as well, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Tomi Jaakkola. How are you, my friend?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm good. And thanks about your words.
Yeah, man, I'm very, like I said, I am a big fan of yours. You know, in JockPharm, we follow you. We are always pending on what you're doing. I think what you represent and what you're doing, especially with your daughter, which we're going to talk about in a minute, is so important and motivating, to be honest, for everyone. At least for me, it is. But before that, man, I would like to get to know Tomi before martial arts. Tell me about that, Tomi.
Yeah. Well, I think I was like 8 years old when I started judo, and
Very early.
yeah, and there was, I don't know, there wasn't any special reason about it. I think it was with my friend, and then we go to the judo classes, and it was awesome, and I like it right away, and after like 1 or 2 years training, I want to go to compete in judo, and then I got to the first competition, and it was really cool. It was all the tension and all the things, and you can fight, and it was really cool, and that was I think the starting point for my martial arts career. Then I competed in judo like 10 years. I was a professional judo player, and after that, like, I don't know, maybe 2008, 2009, something about there, then I stopped my career, and then I start doing the other things.
Nice, man. Like you're a 10-time national champion, Finnish national champion, correct, in judo?
Yeah.
And also you were a part of the Finnish national team.
Yeah, I was part of the Finnish national team like 10 years.
That is crazy, man. Like I wonder how can an 8-year-old have the discipline to continue in a sport? Because I think, for example, I have a 9-year-old with me, which I want him to get into martial arts. I'm insisting, and I'm insisting for him to get into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He does it because I'm in it. So he's kind of like, okay, I want to make Papa happy.
Yeah.
But it's not my thing, I guess, because an 8-year-old loves so many things, man. And to be honest, martial arts could be an interest, but not necessarily love, right? But with you, it was like love, like at first sight, as they say.
Yeah. It was, but I didn't start that competition. So I think when I was 16 or 17, I started to compete more, and I think that's the main reason I'm still staying on the martial arts, because I see a lot of young people in our classes where when they get really excited, they go too much, and then they got like, I don't know, it's not a burnout, but they got tired for the competition and for the whole sport. So yeah. I think one of the main reasons you have to keep it. It has to be funny. You have to like it.
Yeah,
not so serious, and maybe when you're 15 or something like that, then you have to do it more seriously. But
I agree with that, especially with children. Of course, they have to have fun, because I think if they feel that pressure that they need to do good from day one is like too much, especially for a 9-year-old, 10-year-old. I remember my first class in martial arts ever. I was in first grade. I was probably 6 years old. It was Taekwondo, but in my mind, I was going to do the things that I would see in the movies, the flips, the screaming and the breaking. And I thought I was gonna beat up already like 3 people at once, and then the first class for me was insanely boring, right? Because I had that expectation of that excitement. Then it was like, okay, you got to learn the technique, you got to learn the salutes, and I was like, nah, I don't like this. So I thought that was like, okay, I don't want to do martial arts. And then my interest in martial arts grew when I was already, yeah, like a preteen, like 13 years old. And same as you, when I started competing, it's something that clicked with me and I fell in love with it. At that time, I was doing Kung Fu. It was in Central America. And it was a beautiful coincidence how I started that, because it was at the school that I was going to. Back then, they had Kung Fu in the school curriculum, kind of like physical education type of thing.
Oh, no, nice.
Very interesting. And I was like, oh man, okay, I'm going to try it. So I tried it. And then all of a sudden, the teacher told me, hey, I have my own academy. Would you like to train there? I was like, of course. And like you said, he concentrated on us having fun. He would make games and everything. And those games, we would like build our stamina, resistance, and stuff like that. Which with us, we didn't know that, okay, we're building the strength of our legs. We're building our stamina. We're able to do certain movements better, because it was so fun that those classes, that those things went out the window. And when I was like competing the first time, actually, I was representing my school in that competition. It was my first competition, and I won a gold medal. But I think, to be honest, I won not because I was quote unquote good in Kung
Yeah,
Fu. It was because I was having so much fun.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is important. So like, did you have that fun back in the day? Because we're talking about 30 years ago, more, right? Like when you were 10 years old, like that was a long time ago. So things, the way of teaching and learning do change within time. How was it? How did your instructors motivate you, or how was it back in the day, especially in Finland?
Yeah. Well, things have changed a lot. There was in judo, there was the like the Budo atmosphere.
Budo, yeah.
Yeah. It's like very strict, and you don't talk to anyone. You just do the things and just like that. And if you're late from the class, then you do 100 push-ups or something
Whoa.
like that.
Okay.
So it was like, let's push it. And now when there's like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and all the things, the atmosphere is more relaxed, and I think it's a good things. But there is good things in both sides, because when you have the Budo atmosphere, there is the great things that you're really focused on the things when you're doing. So I think that's really important, that you need to have fun, you can talk, you have friends and so on, but when you do the techniques and when you do the training, you need to be focused. And
Yeah.
I think mixing those two things, you get a really good results. But it has to be when you're competing like in a top level. I think somewhere I kind of lost it, that it's fun, because when you're doing it all the time, like 2 times a day, and you're always thinking about how can I do this better, and how can I make my technique better, and how can I be stronger, and so on. And so you can't lose the good feeling. If you
That is
lose it,
true.
then it's not from your heart, and then you can't get a great results then. So you need to have kind of fun, like the small kids.
Yes, it's very, very interesting that you mentioned that, because immediately you made me remember the time when I lost that feeling of fun. You made me remember that. And to be honest, in competition, that was the time when I started losing. It was just not the same. I had like this pressure also from my mother to win every time
Yeah,
I competed. And I remember, if I would not win, she would make me feel very bad verbally, and I would feel like, man, what am I doing? And obviously nobody likes to lose. So every time I lose, I will feel bad, and I would like question myself. I will doubt myself as well. Like, are my skills going down? Because I remember when I first started competing from the get-go, I competed in the category of beginners, intermediate, and sometimes advanced as a white belt. And then when that the feeling of fun went away, I found myself only competing in a category of beginners as an advanced belt, like maybe green or brown belt in kung fu, of course. And I was like asking myself why, and I didn't have an answer at that time. But it was that fun, like it was that fun aspect. I lost it, and I created this pressure amongst to myself, because I remember I started entering the rankings and I wanted to move up in the rankings. And then my instructor was telling me about there's an opportunity for me to join the national team in Honduras, which was the country I was living at that time. So I was adding all this pressure to myself, and that I was supposed to go every day to train, and I have to do hard, and I have to do this. If I do it wrong, I have to repeat it. And I was like 12 years old, man, 12, 13 years old. And like I said, I lost it. I started losing it. I started losing in competitions, and I started losing interest of the sport in general.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to recover that interest. It was because I had a great, great coach behind me that I went back. My kung fu instructor was like my second father, you know, and I think that's also a key to someone's success in martial arts, the instructor, because you could be the best fighter, but that doesn't make you the best instructor or coach, or vice versa. You can be the best coach, but that doesn't make you the best fighter. So sometimes, like, identifying that could be a challenge for many. I think I've been in my, obviously, like, my trajectory and career in martial arts is nowhere close to yours. But when it comes to instructors, it's been always up and down. I have like really good, really bad, in the middle. And until today, I'm still seeking that really good guy that I can trust and would understand what I want to achieve.
Yeah.
How do you manage to understand the goals of younglings, of the youth in martial arts?
Well, I think about the same, that the worst thing, if you lose, the funny thing is that you lose the whole sport, and maybe you lose the whole sport in your life, and I think that's the worst case in the whole thing. And the coach is really important part for that thing. So you have to always cheer up and always have to find some positive things for the kids and also for the adults, because the adults, they need the same feedback like the kids need.
Yes, even they say, no, I don't need it, it's okay.
Yeah. because you see straight from the kids more easier, like when you say some kids, and yeah, you did great, and then they're like, what? Okay. And if you say to the adults, then you can't see them face. They're like, yeah, okay. And then they go home. The coach told me I did great.
That is so true. I do that until today. I come to my after training. If my coach compliments me, I come direct to my wife. Hey, he said I did good, and probably will be like the simplest technique or something,
Yeah. And then I think that's the one of the most important part in the coaching. And like you said, if you're a good competitor, that doesn't mean you're a good coach, and vice versa, and so on, because you need different skill sets when you're coaching people. You need to be honest. You need to build the connection between the athletes, because if they don't trust you, then they don't do it like they can do it the best way.
Trust is very important, for sure, for sure. Now tell me, Tomi, you have mentioned about Tomi before the sport. Now tell me about Tomi before the success of Ahjo. And how did you come up with Ahjo?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a straight plan, but we started it with my friend Ilari, and it was like there wasn't here in Kerava, there wasn't like MMA or BJJ or so on, and we had only the judo club, and it was the old judo club. It was I think it was started like 70 something or something like that, and we were thinking, can we add the MMA and BJJ to the old judo club? And it wasn't a good idea because there was so much history behind that. And then we want to start our own club, and we want to do it like we started a company for doing this thing, because it's more easier to run the club with the company than the traditional club way. And then we were visiting a lot of different teams all around the world, and then we like collect all the best things, that these are the things we want to have in our club, and then we started the Ahjo.
Nice, man. Like I said at the beginning of this conversation, Ahjo is considered one of the best combat sports academies in Finland. I have had the pleasure of training there a couple of times. A really good friend of mine is coaching there, Javier Ravines is an MMA coach there, you know. And the only reason I have never officially joined is because it's far away from me, man. Like, but otherwise, I really wanted, I was even considering making the effort to just go, because I love the environment. I love the toughness behind it. And I can see so many good athletes that have good fighters that are from Ahjo, that have come up from Ahjo, you know. So I wanted to be a part of that, but it's too far. Maybe when I get a car in the future, I'll definitely join, you know, because I really want to. And my friend, like I said, Javier, has always insisted for me to go there, because funny enough, I started teaching kickboxing to Javier back in the day.
Oh,
you know, so like at that time I was competing myself, and Javier was just starting in kickboxing. He was just learning Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You know, we were always good friends, and I stopped training for a long time. I moved out of Finland. I was living in Costa Rica with my family, so I stopped training. And then when I came back, I see this guy who has already competed in MMA, is super good in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and now he's an MMA coach. It's insane the progress that he has had over a couple of years in your gym, you know. And now when I train with him or spar with him, that dude is like kicks my ass in like in a minute or so, you know, and his stamina has grown. And I cannot believe that I used to train you, and like you have surpassed my skills, but not only a kilometer, but like for like 100 kilometers more. And he's still training.
Yeah.
And one of the things that, it was so simple, but it made me think, okay, that's the key component that you have that makes you different from everybody else. I remember I was at his place, we were watching TV, and it was time to go training. And he just told me like this, ah, man, wouldn't it be just nice to just stay and watch TV? And me, as a comfortable person that I am, I was like, you know, let's just do that. And he was, no, I gotta go. And then he was like again, but it would be nice. Nah, but I gotta go. Let's go ahead. So that little, he battled that little voice behind his head, because everyone has that voice that says like, you know what, you can stay today, you can relax today, you know what, it's raining or whatever. You always have that little voice. Some people are weak to that voice, some people are stronger to that voice, and he battled that voice and succeeded. Because I have to admit, I am guilty of giving in to that voice. You know, sometimes I will have morning trainings. I get up and like, it's too dark or it's rain. I will make up excuses to myself and I will give in, okay, I would stay. And when the training time passes by, you have this guilty feeling like, damn, I should have gone train. So for me, I think it's just better to not even give it time for that little voice to get louder, to just do things. If you go into training, just don't think about it, just go training. But how do you handle that, for example, considering the success that you have had as a martial artist?
Yeah, I think there's like two levels, two different levels. Like if you're a competitor, then you set some big goals, and I think those are the things that makes you go to the training. When you wake up in the morning and then you look outside the window, oh, it's raining and I should go make some morning running or jogging, and but then you remember, I want to make closer to my goal, and that was the fuel to my motivation to do all the training. But now it's different when I'm not anymore competing. I think everyone is struggling with that, how you describe it. Always, am I going now? Should I watch TV or something like that? But I think now the biggest thing is the atmosphere and the people and the friends you meet there. It's not anymore that I want to learn punch or I want to learn some takedown. Of course, those are the great things, but it's not the main thing when you're doing the battle in your head. Oh, I want to learn the takedown. It's not the thing when you make the decision. It's more like it's a good atmosphere, and when I go there, I know I'm gonna feel good, and after the training, the great feeling and so on.
And that is so accurate. You do get a fantastic feeling after training, you know, and the tougher the training, the greater that feeling is. I have, at least for me, it's just amazing, man. Because, for example, right now, what I'm battling with, it's pretty much starting from zero again. And also because like I considered myself quite a good kickboxer back in the day. We're talking about like 10, 12 years ago when I was fit and disciplined, you know, and in shape and all that. And also like 15 kilos less and all that. I had the strength to battle that voice, for example. And one of the things that I really hate from my training routines, but it's so important, is running. It's so, if you're a fighter, you have to run, man. You know, it's part of it. But that's the thing that I would hate the most. I would rather spar all day, get my ass kicked all day than running. But I would still battle against it, and I would go running, and I would do my 5 kilometers or 3 kilometers or whatever I could do that day. You know, but if you tell me to do it that now, I'm like, hell no, man, you're crazy. But I say that to myself. And my point is that, like, so I was like experiencing Kung Fu. Then I started training kickboxing. I was experiencing kickboxing. I had a level. Now I want to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is very different from stand-up. Completely different, complete technique, completely different mindset, completely different strategy. I love it. And I think I like it a lot more than kickboxing. But the fact that I'm starting from zero kills me, man. Kills me. And it's so hard, you know. But I think it's part of life as well, like being that humble to say it's okay to start from zero. Because I think that applies not only martial arts or sport, but also in life. Many of us are so intimidated to start again. And it's okay to do it. And it actually is admiring if you do it. You know, but that's, for example, that at least in sports, that's what I'm struggling with, like at least with the sport. I have started from zero many times in life. It has been tough, but it has been very rewarding at the same time. You know, have you ever found yourself in that situation?
Yeah, I have. I think that's a really good thing when you go outside the box and you do the things that you don't know nothing about, like in martial arts, like the leg locks. I don't know a lot about them, because my background is judo, so I know how to do the takedowns and so on, and I know how to do the chokes and arm bars and so on. But when the leg lock game started to develop so great level, I don't know much about it anymore. I just know the basics, and when I sometimes go to some competition, I usually lose with the leg locks, and then I'm damn. I should be training them, and I'm like a beginner in the leg locks. But I'm just thinking maybe one day I will learn them more and so on.
Man, it's good to have that mentality, because when I have this right now, the mentality that I'm having, that I'm not enjoying starting from zero again, sometimes I lose the fun aspect of the training session. You know, because like I have, at least for me, jiu-jitsu, it's fun. I don't mind getting choked out, which I do every 5 seconds when I'm sparring. You know, I love it. It's so much fun. But I again, I put that pressure to myself that I want to perform good, that I want to be at a certain level already, you know. And especially jiu-jitsu is so different from other martial arts, like definitely for example, or kickboxing. It takes a long time to move up in jiu-jitsu. You need a lot of patience. And one of the things that someone told me that is like is stuck in my mind until today about techniques, he told me, calm down, because if you cannot do it slow, you will not be able to do it fast.
Yeah.
And it's so true. It is so true. But how can you calm yourself down? It is hard. It's hard because you want to like, okay, I want to submit this guy. And I want that approval from my coach or my teammates. I want them to tell me, man, you're good. You have started so little, but you're good. Some people are blessed like that. I'm not, man. Like, it sucks. But yeah, it's an everyday battle. Try to stay motivated. Sometimes I'm successful at it. Sometimes I'm not. And that's okay, to be honest. But speaking of motivations, I think your baby girl, Sumi, right?
Yeah.
Is one of the biggest motivations for you, right? Please tell me about her.
Yeah, well, Sumi is now 14 years old, and when she born, everything was okay. But I think when she was like 2 years old, there was something wrong, and we didn't notice as a parents right away. But then we go to the, I don't know, neuvola, and then there was a doctor, and she sent us to the Lastenlinna in Helsinki, and then they want to make the blood test to make sure that everything is okay. And like after the blood test, there was a found, and there was the Rett Syndrome, which is I don't know how to say it. It's in your DNA. There is a certain place, and then the chromosomes got wrong and so on, and then it Sumi can't speak, she can't use her hands, and there's a lot of different problems, like she got epilepsy and so on, and it's a really, Rett syndrome is really complicated. So when she was 2 years old, and then the doctor told us, and there's a Rett syndrome, and we didn't know nothing about it. We just, I was like, well, somehow this is a really big thing, but I don't know nothing about it. And then there started like my biggest battle or fight in my life, and like everything changed. My whole life changed, and I don't know what to do. And maybe the first year it was all like fog. I don't remember at all about it. It was only go day by day. Just you can't think about it anymore. And then like my whole life got messed up, and I stopped my martial arts, and I stopped training, and my relationships got bad, and all things got messed up. And I really go down to the bottom, and I was like, I don't know how to do things and how to make my life go on and so on. And then I just, it was one day I was going walking to the outside, and I had walked like 5 minutes, and I was so tired, and I was like, what the hell? I have done like sport in my whole life, and now I'm just walking 5 minutes and I'm dead tired. I was so tired in physically and mentally, and that was like a warning for me that I had to do something now, because if I'm not taking care about myself, I can't take care about my family or Sumi and so on.
Very true.
And then I had to start do really small things, and I focused on the 3 basic things. I need to take some good nutrition. I wasn't eating good. I was just doing. I was doing my own work, and then I was starting the Ahjo, and my day was like, I started like 7 a.m. and then I go to my own work, and after like 4 p.m. I go to the Ahjo, and then I go to the training center, and after that I go to the home, and then I answer to the emails and so on, and the whole day was so full, and I wasn't training myself. I was eating bad, and I didn't sleep so good, so everything was messed up. And so I think I need to make the basic things good. I need to eat good, I need to protect my sleep, and I need to start doing some training. And then it goes step by step, and it took like, I don't know, maybe something like 4 to 5 years to get back on the track. And sometimes, like after 1 year, I want to go try to do some training in the martial arts, or I go to the open mat class, and I was like, yeah, this was like fun, and I do some 2 hours training. But after that, I was so broke. I was like, oh, my body can't handle this. And it was like, again, like 1 month rest or something like that to get my body again working. And so it's a really long process to get back on the track. And now things are really much better now, and I have now a good feeling, and my body is again working normally and so on.
Man, it's tough, I have to say. I cannot even imagine like going through that. The emotional toll that brings on you as a father, as a family man, as everything. You know, it definitely can break someone down. And man, it almost broke you, but it didn't. You persevered, and that deserves recognition, my friend. And that's amazing. Not everybody can do that. We as parents, we love our kids. We want the best for them, but it's not always. We cannot always give what we picture. You know, sometimes life happens, and life changes. And you at that time embarking into something that is so big and unknown must be scary, man. especially when it comes to your kid. No, but the good thing is like one of the things that like stand out from your story is that you took care of yourself first, and I think that is so important. As and some people might say, "Nah, that's selfish. You gotta take care of your kid," and then you go like, "Nah, man," because if you don't know how to take care of yourself, you really won't know how to take care of others. Everybody would tell me, I would hear it so much, that if you don't love yourself, you cannot love others. And I would say to myself, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Like, that's not true, because I love this guy, I love this, and I love that. But now today, I understand the meaning of that, because at some point I hated myself. I hated who I was. I hated what I represented, you know? So yes, I will care for others, but because I was so broken, I will care for them in a broken way, which nobody benefited from that. Once that I started working on myself, like therapy and all that, I'm, for example, I'm a sober man, thank the Lord, and everything. When I started working on myself is where I saw that it was a lot easier to care for others. And it made it a lot easier to see the virtues of others in order to appreciate them more. I started learning to appreciate my wife a lot more. I started learning to appreciate my children a lot more. I started learning to appreciate life a lot more. And I would say, people say, yeah, it's a day-to-day battle, but I would take it as an hour-to-hour battle. Let me get through this hour. Once I get through this hour, I know I can get through another hour. And I would take it like that, because sometimes my anxiety will be so much that if I say, let me get through this day, in my mind, that day will be so long that sometimes in the middle of that hour, I want to give up. So I'll put myself little goals. Let me get through this hour, for example, or let me get through this morning, right? And I'm not going to tell you here, Tommy, that, okay, I had that mentality and then the next day I was able to do it. No, man, it was hard. It was hard. It still is. It still is, right? But I can honestly say that once I started working on myself, things got a lot better. Even me as a foreigner in Finland, even that got so much better, because when I first came here, I came with so much negativity. And because Finland is so different to my country, Bolivia, the culture, the language, the people, everything is different. That difference, I would like take it as a negative thing. I was like, nah, man, this is bad. So I would refuse to integrate into the Finnish culture. I would refuse to learn the language. I would just refuse to do something positive here in Finland. And that at that time, my stay here was not good. It was like, because everything is like, I hate this, I hate that. This is bad people. This is this is that. And then fast forward many years later, I started working on myself. And then I started understanding that it was not the Finnish culture that was wrong. It was not Finland that was bad. It was me and the way how I look at things and my refusal to integrate into this new society that I want to be a part of. Now that I have that mentality, things are beautiful. Well, not beautiful, but things are easier. Things are nicer. Like every person that I meet, I have a great experience with. Thank God. Every Finnish people that I meet, great experience, because I have a lot more understanding than before. And now, for example, I love Finland. I love Finland so much. I can honestly say that it's a country that has saved my life. Because if I would be in any other place, I don't think I would be here today. Maybe I would be locked up, or worse, not even in this world, because I was going through a really, really dark path. So like, I am so grateful for that today, for all these things. Like, for example, I'm an entrepreneur today because Finland let it happen. Finland gave me the tools and the information that I need to make it happen. You know, like my country does not provide those things, unfortunately. And it provides so many roadblocks for many people that want to progress. Finland has provided me all the things that I needed in order to progress. And more importantly, it has given me that peace to be able to live my life in a nice, happy way and not only concentrate on what's going to happen tomorrow because maybe I will not have a job or I don't have money or those insecurities that are so common in third world countries, right? I'm not telling you that I'm a rich man because I'm far from it, but I am a happy man, thank the Lord. You know, I don't live in rich, I live in a small apartment with my 3 kids and wife and dog, and we have what we need, and we are fucking happy. I am happy, you know. And what are the, for example, the other day, with me and my wife, we were discussing something that it was like a really good problem to have. She was like, baby, we're spending so much money on food. Man, that thing right there, that's a privilege if you think about it.
Yeah.
We having that problem to spend so much money on food, you know, and I was like, man, I am grateful that I have that problem. And I am grateful that I'm having that problem here, you know. Just fantastic, man. Love your country.
Yeah. I love your story.
Thank you very much, man. Now, with Sumi and everything, I know you want to raise awareness to Rett syndrome. And that is something amazing. I support you 100% in what you're doing, and anything that JockPharm can do to support that awareness, please let me know. But tell me about the Ironman competition that you participated with her. You know, that is such a unique and at the same time so motivational to do. Tell me about that.
Yeah. Well, it started like 1 year ago, and we were doing some outdoor hiking with Sumi, and then I was Sumi likes to be like outdoors doing things there, and I was like, is there something more we can do? Is there maybe some competition or something like that? And then I don't know where the idea came from, but I was like, maybe some triathlon or something like that. And then I went to home and made to the website and do some Google, and I found there was like maybe 3 to 4 that have made the Ironman around the world, and I was like, oh, maybe this is possible. Then when I have done it, I got the advertisement from the Ironman Finland. It was they were doing the first time in Finland, and it was like 2 months away, and I was like, okay, 2 months, that's too short period. And
yeah,
but then there was the COVID, and then they moved it to the next year, and I was like, okay, 1 year, maybe I can do it in 1 year. I don't know nothing about triathlon training, and so I sent them. I found the Antti Hagqvist, who is one of the main person here in Finland and in Ironman things, and then I asked him, and do you think we can participate in this one? And then he was said, okay, he had to ask from the headquarters from the States, and then we got the green light, and then we started training. And it was like we talked before here, the new thing that I was so beginner. I didn't know nothing, and I had only the 1 year time to figure it out all, and it was really crazy, and there was a lot of fighting in my mindset, like every week or every training. Can I do this? Is this possible? This is crazy. And when I was doing some cycling or something, like after 30 kilometers, there's still 150. How can you make it? It was really crazy. But then the training went really well, and the competition was now like 2 months ago, and everything went really well, and we got the swimming part, we made it, and the cycling part also, but then only running, we get run only the half marathon. And then there was the time scale, the 16 hours, and we had to stop it there. So we almost made it.
That is crazy, man. I cannot imagine what it meant for Sumi as well to experience all that with her father.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure that meant the world to her.
Yeah, yeah. She was so excited, and there was the atmosphere was so great there. Everybody was cheering up, and Sumi was so excited, and she was so happy. And after that, when we have watched all the videos and so on, Sumi is so excited because she get to participate. And
Dude, that is so amazing. Are you planning to do more competitions like that, or other upcoming Ironman competitions with her?
yeah, we are planning more for the next year.
Oh, that's good, man. That is fantastic. Please let us know about that for us to help you promote it and everything.
Yeah, I will.
Tell me, Tommy, man, like you sound like an insanely busy man. You have Ahjo, which is huge. You're running that, you're training, you're coaching, you're a full-time father, and this and that. Like, what do you do in your spare time? How do you get to read? As much as you love doing all that, I'm pretty sure you need something that makes you, okay, I need to relax, to disconnect a little bit. What is it that you do? Do you like reading, watching TV? What is the thing?
Yeah. I just like the basic things, and I like reading a lot. So maybe the best time for me is just to get a book and make reading, and that's the quality time for me. And I also like time with my kids, and even it's like a it's not so relaxed time always, but I enjoying it a lot.
Of course, like I completely understand what you mean. Like I love spending time with my kids, but yeah, sometimes like I want to scream, you know, and when sometimes that scream goes out, you do feel bad. Like, okay, I need to come back. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
What do you like reading? Everything, or do you have something specific that you really enjoy?
Everything, but yeah, just kind of everything. And I like to change the category when I read something like I don't know. I just change the category, and I also like to read a lot about the sport things and coaching and so on. And those are interesting.
Nice, man. Like I'm getting into, well, not reading, but audiobooks a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting into a lot of those. And there's one book that really caught my attention, which is very simple to read. It's called 101 Ways to Live a Simple Life. It's one of those motivational books. It might sound cheesy, but it was written in a way that it talks about how important it is to unlearn old habits in order to learn new ones, you know, and it makes sense. I have that book, and I would like to give it to you as a present. So I will go to your gym to give it to you in person, you know,
Great.
because it is, like I said, it's not only an honor to talk to you, but what you're doing, what you represent is fantastic. And myself, my family, and JockPharm, we are huge supporters of you and Ahjo as well. And whatever we can do to help you out in whatever, please let us know. And also, I will be keeping myself in touch with you in terms of finding fighters, because there are a lot of foreign competitions out there for MMA fighters, man.
Yeah, you're doing great job.
Yeah, we gotta get that opportunity to Finnish fighters, man, because I believe that Finnish fighters are really, really good, and the world needs to know about it. So help me in that way, Tommy.
Yeah, I will, and you're doing great job, and thanks for your present. And
Oh man, it's my pleasure. It's really, really my pleasure, my friend. But this would be it for now. I'll let you continue your busy day, which I'm pretty sure you have one already. And thank you for your time. It was an absolute pleasure having this talk with you. And I'll be telling you when I'm going to be dropping by Ahjo, okay?
Okay, okay. Thank you so much.
All right, my friend. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.